This is some extreme late night painting. We will not be doing, I'm not going to do a long painting session, but we will be doing some painting. Continuing on with Doctor Strange, we had started doing some paint on him, and I'm going to keep the train moving forward. I had a little bit of a painting disaster, which is one of the reasons I didn't come right back and start streaming until this late night painting session, because I talk about it. Oh geez, here we go. I talk about it all the time, but I had my worst fear and nightmare, which was having a contrast paint jar fall on my desk, so I lost a good chunk of that paint. So let me get myself a little bit more situated here and set up. So yeah, I'm gonna see how this video goes. I may be a little on the rusty side. I'm just gonna move my camera a little bit so you guys can get a better view. But yeah, we're not gonna go for too long. I mean, I'm probably gonna only paint for like at most like maybe a half hour. I'm gonna get my water out of the way because I need a little bit more room than I normally do, because I'm not confident in my ability tonight to not bang in this stuff. And hopefully, yeah. I'm just gonna give you guys a little bit more. I'm interested to see how this new brush that I got does for specifically details like this. I got a longer, thinner brush today, so I want to see how that does with my stuff. But like I said, it's so late that I had a fit of insomnia, so I was like, you know what? Let me do some painting. But this could either go real bad or real good, depending on how I do, because the reality is I am, and I can feel it in myself, I'm a little on the shaky side. In fact, this music is very Doctor Strange-ish. I don't know if that was, I didn't do that on purpose by any means. Let me take a look here. Alright, that's what I thought. Is the whole... Am I painting? I am 100% painting a detail I didn't have to paint. Haha. Look at that. Okay. So this whole thing should be wet. That's what I thought, because in most iterations of Doctor Strange, the entire top part of his cape is usually red. I was like, I don't remember any incarnation of him with a white trim on there. So that's going to make me feel a lot better, because then that will mean that I'll be in good shape for painting this. And then for folks that don't know, this is the game Marvel Crisis Protocol. So if you were ever thinking about getting into a tabletop game centered around the Marvel Universe, this is your game. So these are models, and it is a, more of a, it's a small skirmish game where you take a team, you construct a team of about, anywhere from, could be like 3 to 5 heroes at all, heroes slash villains. That's the cool part about this team, about this game, is that you can grab bad guys and good guys and have them work together. Which, by the way, in the comic books happens quite a bit. There are many stories where you will see characters, good characters, have to sometimes turn to their rivals and or bad guys to to actually get aid or intel or help. Typically, this happens with like larger threats in the Marvel Universe, but it will happen. Now, the reason I'm leaving a little bit of trim on the cape as white is because that's going, that trim will actually be yellow once I'm ready for it. Just getting in there. You'll see that the cape area, it's pretty, it's a little on the tough side. Like it's not a 2 second kind of thing, that cape. It's going to take a slight minute for me to do that. And then if I look at my reference, it's like more of a sky blue, so I'm gonna have to do one of those like white mixtures. So I'll probably do a yeah, because the turquoise green that I have, that's not the kind of green that's not the kind of blue he is. So I'm gonna use the Tulsa blue I have, and then I'll have to just mix, and so I'll have to go the opposite way that I normally like to go with the coloring. Sorry guys, I'm just testing it out because I want to see. I'm using a little bit of my color palette because I want to get into that, but I just wanted to see what the color was going to look like on there before. I actually really love this new brush I got. These new brushes I got are a lot thinner tipped, so you can go in a little bit more. Yeah, see, that's normally what it is when it clumps, but yeah, see, I should really paint. That's why I was testing it out before I started playing with it. So I may have to go in and lighten some of the areas because it's just how blue it is. It's a little on the, because it's a darker blue in general. So you can see how much lighter, like if I'm a little lighter on the hand, but like with this, it got so saturated. But like if I get it on a lighter tone, so I may have to use a little bit of usually what I do is I grab some paint and then I just water it down a lot. And that's how I usually get like these lighter tones that I get. But it's going to be dependent, because sometimes, as I've pointed out in other videos, is that your color, it'll start to the contrast paints, when they get dry, they start to congeal. Like, they start to get a lot more on the solid side, so they actually start to, it's funny, when they start to dry out, they actually start to turn a little bit more into typical GW paints, which I think is a little on the funny side. So you actually get a more traditional acrylic painting experience. But I'm gonna go with a bigger brush. I think that's gonna help for the pants. I just wanted to see, like, as I played with that blue, what variations I was gonna get, because that sash is gonna be yellow. This trim is gonna be yellow on his cape, and then the boots are gonna be a darker, like, gray or black. Technically his boots are black, but I may work with some other stuff in there. Yeah, so you can see, like, see the difference when you water it down. If I water the blue down, then I get that nice light blue. So I have to play, like, kind of play the role of a chemist a little bit and just dilute the paint a little bit. So I don't come at it with such a heavy hand. And then it won't turn out like the sash on the bottom. What I'm gonna do to aid my efforts is that I'm gonna just use a bigger brush, so I can spread that blue. Now that I'm starting the blue, I might as well go for it. Okay, and now the model's doing something else that I thought it was gonna do, which was it's got a little give to it, because I was worried about this model because of the way structurally they built it. Because they wanted to make him extremely dynamic, and I don't want to make it sound like I do not appreciate that about the company. I think the model looks awesome, and I really do like that they made him just look a lot cooler than he probably was going to look. But they did it a little bit at an expense, because the issue is that stability for the model is a little compromised, because he wants to fall a certain way forward. Whoops, let me get that all in there. He wants to fall forward a certain way, and when he falls forward, it's because you don't have a lot of glued area on there. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm trying to figure out. I have a reference. Yeah, okay, I was right. So I'm just like trying to figure out the reference with what I'm doing. So if I'm and like I said, I am running a little on the empty tank when it comes to just being a little on the conscious side. So I'm like, I am here, I am working, but I am dragging a little bit, because like I said, I kind of decided to do a video because I was just really kind of tired. I was really not the opposite of tired. I was actually kind of had a little insomnia, so I was like, ooh, well, I'll do a little bit. I'll get a model done, which hopefully will put me to sleep. So my shakiness is not complete. I'm like dropping brushes. I just dropped some paint before I went on camera, so like I'm a little on the crazy side right now. Now, again, for those folks out there that may not be familiar with the game that these models are from, again, we're painting Marvel Crisis Protocol models. Obviously, I think you guys know or probably know who this is. If you've watched any of the MCU movies, you will know this wonderful person as none other than Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme. And what is awesome about this game is that it is a tabletop Marvel game. I'm trying to give you guys the angle that I'm painting on. So it is a small squad-based game. You're going to create your heroes and villain. You literally can pick from heroes and villains to construct your team. And it's cool because there are objectives. So there's objective-based gameplay. I'm going to have to do that without showing you guys. I'm sorry. That's okay. That's technically what that is blue, but like I said, with the blue and the way that it is, I'm gonna probably be doing just a coat of the blue, because this the blue that I have with contrast paints is a little on the dark side. So I'm probably gonna mix in. I'll do some mixing of white in there and do some edge highlighting. I'll do some highlighting of the actual color. But what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to get the big areas that are blue painted. And I don't want to use a big brush, but if I use a big brush, it'll help, because a lot of the areas that are in here, they're not necessarily, you know, there is some big areas that have to get painted, but then there's also some detailed areas, and I got to be really, really careful of how I come in where the sash is in relation to everything else, because that sash has to be yellow. So if I really get the blue on top of there, it's not going to look very well on there. I'm going to do a smaller brush to get in there, but and I just got some new finer brushes, which are awesome. But before I jump into those, I just want to get this kind of in a better spot, because there's a lot of areas in this model, but it's hard because you have some interesting competing colors in there, and I have to just be sure. And like I said, because I'm sort of half fighting sleep. It's funny. You start off doing this and you're like, oh, I got a lot of energy. I'm like ready to go. You know, let me paint, and then like it's just amazing how you start painting and then, you know, this once noble energy that you were talking about that you had, it sort of leaves you. And then all of a sudden, probably doesn't help that the music that I'm listening to like would put anyone to sleep, because it's very tranquil and calm. Which is funny because I deliberately picked the like epic station, but it's playing like epic music from like other areas of the world. It's not. Alright, so the pants bunch up differently. Alright, well that's fine. If the blue is on... it's hard. It's hard to know where the boots start, where the pants end. A little bit. It's a little unclear with the sculpt, but I think I just figured it out. I think his boots start down there. But yeah, I really, we are going to actually start, once I get all of my Crisis Protocol folks painted, we'll be able to start having some battle reports with the Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff. I have been just pushing my heels with it. I mean, I got a surge of models over the break, and it was both a good thing and a bad thing. It was a good thing because I got a lot of stuff I was looking for, but it was also a bad thing because then, you know, you get to a point and you're like, oh, I'm good, like, you know, oh, I'm good. I got further, like I got a lot, you know, I got all my models painted, and then you obviously get a few more, and you're like, oh, I'm not good anymore. Because you got all this stuff you got to paint. So and I know you guys like when I do late night videos. I can't do too many of these, but like I said, I'm gonna block out a lot of the color on this Doctor Strange, and then we'll get into some other stuff. Probably won't get them all done tonight, but at least I'll get most of them done. Because like I said, it's a tough model to paint because I got to get to some areas like underneath that cape, and to get the angle to get the paint in there is pretty challenging. So again, I apologize that I'm not doing as good of a job showing you guys what I'm painting, but there's just no way, because I have to turn the model just in certain ways so I can get to what I'm trying to paint. So, but if you guys have questions, if you have painting questions, I say it all the time when we're doing Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff. If you just want to like talk about Marvel stuff, I mean, there's so many different Marvel things to talk about. Obviously, I cannot promise if we are doing a discussion like that we will not spoil things. So if you are, you know, for instance, trying, I'm gonna have to do a color on that. If you are trying not to know things about Winter Soldier or like WandaVision, obviously when I open the forum for us to talk about those things, it's very possible that people on this stream will start talking about it. So I'm sorry, I'm sorry in advance if that gets ruined or spoiled. You know, I can certainly control myself, but I can't control a whole stream of people. So, but I know that might be something that people want to talk about because they have been obviously really awesome shows. Because I know I ran and watched, WandaVision, and I'm all caught up on Falcon and Winter Soldier. Just bringing that back. So I am very, very in the know with those shows, and I am liking them a lot. I mean, I thought WandaVision was awesome. I know a lot of people, not to say they had problems with WandaVision, but I know a lot of people like started getting mad at the format or getting mad at the show, but you know, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that assessment, but I know there are folks out there that have that opinion. And to be quite fair, there has been some things that came out in light of it that there were some issues with shooting. There were definitely, oh Jesus, I didn't want to open that. I just don't see, this is what I mean. I'm like totally not all there today, guys. They admitted that they were supposed to have, more episodes, and that there were some, different things that were supposed to happen in the plot. There was definitely cameos of characters that were supposed to happen, but because of COVID, those things got had to be redone or had to be thought about. So things are coming to light that definitely tell us as an audience that certain things we thought were going to happen were going to happen. And I'm trying to be as spoiler free as possible, but which is annoying because a few of the things that I've definitely found out I think would have been super would have been super cool had they come to fruition, but they did not. All I'm doing now is I'm just going in. I'm just tidying that up. But yeah, so I definitely am in that camp that I feel I was disappointed when I heard a few of the things that were going to happen. Mostly just because I thought they were so cool. I thought the show was already cool, but with some of the stuff that they were gonna do, it was gonna be even cooler. Which it's interesting because if they were gonna do these things in the show, it brought me to a place of it's interesting to think about where or how would they, what does that mean for the future of certain things, because they did bring out a lot of interesting things that they were going to do. So but I very much am enjoying WandaVision, and I am 100% enjoying Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I actually was very impressed because I didn't think I was going to get very invested in Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I'm actually pretty in it to win it. I'm a lot more into that show than I thought I was going to be, but that's also because they if you guys are fans and you've been watching the episodes, in the second episode they gave us some cool stuff in there. They gave us something I didn't think they were going to give us in the show, which that was really, really awesome when that happened. So I was like, ooh. I was like, okay. So you guys are 100% not playing around. So I am down for that. I am ready for what I believe to be coming in that show, which is going to be really cool. And we're doing the yellow. I'm doing the... I always don't say the colors I'm using. So Blood Angels red is what the red was. The blue that I used was the Talassar blue, which is kind of like if you are, I was going to say, if you're 40k players, it's the blue you use for Space Marines. It was the blue I used for inside of there. Blood Angels red, like I said, for the inside. And I have to say, for a model... And I've said this a couple of times as we've painted some of these. I don't know what it is about the Marvel Crisis Protocol models, but they just feel really easy to paint. They usually feel like this is a little complex because it's tough because, I say it a lot, but for me as a painter, I do better when the model is together. Not everybody shares my sentiment. Many people will prefer to actually paint the pieces of the model so that it's all painted. I don't do that. I like having the model together because I see different things from a perspective of tone that I feel I just don't see. I'll see how color plays out. I'll see how color is on something. I feel better when I have it actually in the model. Because then I also see naturally how shadows move, how shadows look, all that stuff. So I don't know. I don't know what you guys think out there. You know, I know that's I think more of a painter's choice, but I think that is more of a reflex of a painter's decision. What time are we at? Okay. Okay, we've been going for a half hour, so I'm probably going to paint for another like 10, 15 minutes. And then I'm going to have to... I'm probably going to have to call it. You guys can start to see what it's starting to take shape with. Now, I think you guys remember when I did the first part of this cape, or I'm sorry, first part of the ruins, the magical kind of symbols of strange casting. I did them in a yellow, but I said that I was going to come in with a different color. So now that we're getting the cape, the yellow of that cape, I will definitely be coming in with different colors to break that up better. I'll leave these guys on. Oh, it's actually literally just hurting my nose instead of actually helping me. Oh. But like I said, I'm getting a little on the tapped out side, so. And now I'll probably come in with the red just to bring some of that red back in there because I didn't come all the way over the way I should have. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the inside of Doctor Strange's cape, again, comic book Doctor Strange. So I should preface that I am painting him in the more traditional comic style, not in the MCU style, because in the MCU style they kind of did, actually, it's funny, they did a little bit of a Superman treatment where, you know, because I know a lot of folks out there, I'm sure, if they have HBO Max, they've seen the Snyder cut of Justice League, and Snyder had that very he was very hopped up on the idea of very muted colors for Superman, not having the more bright traditional colors that Superman would have. So with Doctor Strange, they sort of did that. They really, in the MCU, and they've done it. They in general have done it with a lot of the characters, but they you can see the conscious effort to mute the colors to make them a little less bright colors, because you have to remember, a lot of these characters, when they came out, the printing process for magazines and for newspapers was very different. So the characters tended to be very primary colors. It also translated into, it was cheaper to print them, so that's why it was a game of a little bit of simplicity when it came to coloring a character. Versus now, where most comic books are colored by a computer, so people are using more robust computer programs that can match different colors, and they have printing has gotten better, so there can be a more dynamic range when it comes to characters and the way that they handle color. A little trick, which is called, so what we're doing now, it's called wet blending. And so what I'm doing is I'm actually using the fact that the contrast paint has not dried yet to actually go in and redo. So I just used it to clear up some areas. This is called wet blending. To clear up some areas where I got blue in there, and you can still see a little bit of it. So I'm just gonna, put a little bit of paint in there. So I just used it to edit that out so I could get that blue and some of the overdue that I did in there. And then what's nice is if you do this wet blend right, then your brush has a little bit of that wet blend. So you can sort of use it. And that could be very helpful, especially if you want to do like a wet blend for, let's say, a tint or a shadow. You can use that as a cool way to do that. But like I said, you can see very quickly how, it doesn't take long, and we have a pretty respectable Doctor Strange. Like, we can see the colors getting blocked out. We can see him starting to take shape, which is always good. And what I'm doing now is I'm just popping a little bit of color in there because I missed that blue when I was painting before. Now, like I said, I'm going to go back in. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to lighten up some of that blue because right now that blue is a little too dark in some areas. It's still the right blue. Like, he does properly look like Doctor Strange. And like in here, I'm going to go a little bit nicer on some of that cape too. So we have to do just a little bit of touching up, not too much. But like I said, this new pincer brush that I have, oof, this brush is so awesome. It's so nice and thin, so I can get into like sneaky areas like that, which I love, and I can pull just a tiny bit of paint. And it's a nice long straight brush, so you can see just how the detail is so much easier to do. So you can see how I could cheat those corners a lot nicer because I can get into those grooves. So this is going to be a nice edging, especially when I have to do like which I haven't really done anything where I've had to do that, but sometimes you have to like free paint a logo or free paint something. But this is going to be nice to get that done. And then also when I want to do things like what I'm doing now, where I want to get a nice darker like crevice in there and I want to go into details for the folds and stuff, this is going to be a nice brush to do that with. But you could already start to see him take a lot of shape. And like I said, we're going to go for just a tiny bit more time. I got to be at work a little bit on the early side, so I really shouldn't be painting now. It is quite late where I am. I'm just going to do that sash. But you can see he's looking real nice. Like, I'll do the sash and the gloves because those all have to be yellow, and then probably we'll start the next video where I'm gonna work on that back area, the spell itself, the spell he's casting, so we can I can get that looking a little bit different, so it's not just yellow that you're gonna see. All right, so apparently 3 in the morning, you guys like to watch me paint. I'm noticing. I'm guessing that some of you are my folks. I know for a while when I was painting, it was very cool. I was so happy. I had a lot of like international folks watching me, which was fun. I'm wondering if you guys are from those next to the woods. I know there was a lot of folks like in England that were watching me, in Australia that were watching me. So that was really cool. Yeah, this is going to be a tough. So like I said, I love this brush because it can get into a lot of areas, but there's going to be a couple of tough paints in there where I'm going to have to figure something out, because I definitely need to get into a few different areas that right now I'm just not getting into the way that I want to. So I'm going to have to figure that out. But this should be the good way to do it. Whoa, this is such a good brush. Wow. Yeah, this brush is awesome because I can get into these nice like crevices. So I don't know if you guys saw, but I essentially have to get all the way back here. Oh wow, that's amazing. Like I was able to just do nice little touch brush strokes and get all in there. That was really, really cool. So I can cover that sight line up. Sorry if I didn't do that on camera, guys. I'm just trying to get... I think I painted over one of them. But he's got like a lighter tone on those panels, which I'm going to have to do. And I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do that. So I'm just like, I'm trying to engineer this blue in there to figure this out, because like I said before, it's just, you got to get into a few different areas for it. And it's just making sure that I hit all those areas. Might as well just get that. So you guys can see, just trying to get the details in. And then that's some red up there I gotta take care of. But for one little quick painting session, we're cooking with gas. We definitely got a lot of him going. Get the rest of that red done. And like I said, we'll work with that effect where I'll do some cool things to get not just the base yellow in there. I'm just evening out that red. There we go. So we have a nicer line there, a nicer line there. And like I said, I just have to keep looking and seeing like where or how that line looks. Make sure I like the way that everything is starting to turn out. So again, still very much in the rough just blocking out color stage. You know, we're not getting to the details just yet. And like I said, for him, and I've done it with most of the Marvel Crisis Protocol figures, there'll be some degree of mixing that I'll do as well, where I'll mix out some lighter colors to do some highlights and accents. Because, you know, I've said it a few times when we've done these, you know, when people, you know, when you're dealing with a game like this, you know, a little bit more than when you're dealing with something like 40K or Age of Sigmar. You don't really have grunt units, you know, in games like this. So all of your units are named characters. They're all... Now, whether or not they'll change that at some point in this game where you can have more grunt units, sure. But as of right now, there are no grunt units. It's all named villains or heroes. So when you're painting them, you know, because they're named characters, you kind of want the characters to look good. Or at least I do. Because the way I look at it is when you're playing, you know, assuming you're playing folks... I would think that everyone playing is a Marvel fan. Not to say you have to be a Marvel fan to enjoy this game. You can know nothing about Marvel and still want to play this game. But what my meaning behind that was... Oh, geez. Because you definitely can see that. Was more another principle that I've gone over on this channel before when we do other painting videos. But I am a commissioned painter, so when people see my stuff painted, it's like one big giant calling card. So to me, you know, with a game like this, you know, I don't want to take anything to chance. So I want all my models that I'm doing to look awesome. So I have a very high standard for my own stuff. And then because these are all named characters, it just makes it a little on the harder side, because, you know, it also means that this is the type of stuff that if somebody were to look at it, they'll have a much better frame of reference of like, did he do a good job? Did he not do a good job? Was he on the money on what it should be? Was he totally off? So, like, you know, people could be potentially a little bit more critical of models like this than they might be of like a troop, you know, a battle line troop from 40K that you painted, or, you know, just like generic grunt units and things like that. Because, you know, usually for a lot of people, when they have like, you know, whether it's an army that, you know, in the case of like someone like myself who plays orcs, you know, they're a horde army. So, you know, you may be playing giant units of big amounts of guys. So, like, you know, those grunts, if you're painting 30, 40, 50 of them, not to say that you get a pass and, like, some of them can look bad, but I think people sometimes stop looking at the details because they're like, whoa, it's just a lot of units. Like, it's impressive because it's a massive amount of units. But then when they're looking at something like this, where your team is only, you know, 3 or 4 units, it's, you know, obviously the models stand out a little bit more. And then the fact that they are, you know, iconic characters in many cases, although they have their share of pieces that are just fun, that, you know, may not be as well known as others, but it doesn't change the fact that they, you know, that they are, in fact, big characters. So, yeah, let's do this. That's going to look awesome. So we'll get that. I'll do some other painting to that, but I wanted to give it the first coat of like the spirit, the sort of ghostly green. Just gonna paint that in now, and then I knew this was gonna happen, but I'm gonna definitely put this one color on, and then we're done. Alright, I probably won't be able to do the rest of this. I'm being really impatient because I want you guys to see what it's gonna look like, but I probably shouldn't be painting this right now. Look at how awesome that looks. That looks so fire. That looks so dope. I love how the spectral green, I love this green. This is the Hellfex Flame, which is used for undead units in Age of Sigmar. It's the old like stain that you would put on top of stuff, but it looks so cool and it looks so good. It gives you like a, it gives you almost, if you use it the way I just did, it gives you this like it gives you sort of a translucent effect, which looks really good. And then, like I said, you're going to see how I'm going to differential this from, and I'll show you guys what I'm going to start to do just so you can see a little bit of it. But the idea is to use the orange. And the first step is going to be, we're going to use this to get the lettering inside to be orange. And then that will make it, it should offset the inside of the model so that I'll just do one panel. But you can see the minute I do that, it already has like transformed it so that it'll be okay that there's it'll be all right that it has the yellow in there, because we'll see the red on both sides, and the red's the orange is going to, like I said, offset that. Because we'll do that on both sides, and then that'll give it a nice break, so we won't just see yellow everywhere. Yeah, so you guys will see. Watch, I'll show you. Yeah, if I go really heavy with this, it'll look real nice. I mean, it may start to look a little bit more on the reddish side, just because that's how the contrast paints work. Like, the more concentrated they are, the more they start looking like the other colors that are in the spectrum for them. And also, because they are translucent, it's overlaying on top of that yellow, so it is making it a little bit more. It may start to additively mix. but you already can see now. I might also start to change some of the circles. I don't know if I'll do that yet, but I like doing the orange in there for the writing. And then I may actually redo these inside circles. I'm not sure yet if I want to do them in like the spectral green, just to give it like more break, so we make that green show up in a couple more places. But I think you guys can start to see the idea of what we're gonna do. If you guys want to see more of what we're gonna do, please consider following the channel. Consider signing up for notifications, because like I said, I'm gonna in a moment be heading off, because as much as I want to finish this right now, that will not be the best plan for me, because I will be a zombie tomorrow if I do that. So I am planning on not doing that. I'm planning on being a responsible person and going to bed. But like I said, you guys can start to see the color scheme and what we're gonna do, and you can see already how that is very much breaking up the yellow. Like I said, I may go one step further and have like this be that spectral green, but I don't know yet. I'm gonna think about it. But you can already see just how awesome that's looking with that orange on there. I know, I knew this was going to happen. I'm just going to get the first side done, and then I honestly am going to stop, because I have to. I'm trying to get these last couple of letters done. And then, like I said, we will pause, and I will be back at some point tomorrow night with more painting for you guys. We will stick to the new painting regimen for the new week. So we will be doing a different themed company every night for painting. So you definitely want to, if you like what you've been seeing, you definitely want to think about following and signing up for notifications to know when we're live, so you guys can come and talk with us. And I always tell folks, please don't be shy, and definitely contribute when you're here. The show is always more fun when you guys contribute and talk. Although I know a lot of people just like listening to my rants sometimes and my other stuff, but trust me, it is a better time and show when you guys contribute. You know, whether it's egging me on when we're trying to open for PAX, or whether it's talking to me about different shows or franchises or things, It takes on a lot of different forms, and I welcome all forms of talking and sharing and communication. So, you know, like I said, you don't have to come and know everything about Marvel Crisis Protocol. You can just be here watching the painting. We can talk about just painting stuff, techniques of painting, what you're looking to paint, what you have on your painting table at home. None of it's the wrong answer. So you guys can see where we left off on Doctor Strange. Pretty good. I can see a couple of areas that I got to go back over and just touch up a little bit. And like I said, we're gonna then start to bring that lettering in the back, which you'll see once we get that in there. I think it's gonna look a lot better. And then, like I said, I think I am gonna redo those in white, maybe do those in the spectral green, do the inside of that circle in that spectral green, just to break it up more, so it's a little less of the yellow, you know. But I am very, very happy with how this turned out so far. And also very happy that only like one session of about an hour, and we got a lot of them done. And there's not too much, like, he's coming along in the right way and the way that I want him to look. And I probably won't have too much that I have to do, so that's going to be good as well. So please, if you guys want to think about following us, please do check out the links below. I always like to give a shout out to Undiscovered Realms, my sponsor for the. They didn't get the models there, but did get the paints. So if you're interested in tabletop stuff, if you're interested in lots of different collectible games, check them out, please. Support them. They ship out anywhere in the United States. I believe they also ship internationally, so you can check them out and see what they're up to. A lot of the Magic cards I get, Pokemon cards I get, other stuff I get from them. Most of my models that are GW related, they are looking to start carrying this game. They haven't yet, but they will. Which I think is pretty cool, and I can't wait to get back to the days where we can actually like play this in the store maybe and demo it. But yes, and as well as please check the links below. You'll see different links to my Patreon, my YouTube, and other things, and my website. There's some monetary ways. There's a tip/donation button. All that's monetary ways to support the channel. If you can monetarily support, it always helps, because that's the way I can buy and purchase the things that I am using, I'm reviewing, because I am not at that point yet where I am getting a lot of products for free. There are some cases where I have gotten things for free, but not, to the point where that's happening on a more regular basis. So I have to go out of pocket, and I'm looking to do this on a more full-time basis for you all. So that support is great. I know it's tough though right now for a lot of folks, so I get it. That's why if you could share this out, get this to other people, show them what we've been doing and the work that I do. That's also a great way to help us. So thank you all for watching. Please be safe, wash your hands, and as always, if you can get vaccinated, give it a shot. It's probably going to help somebody else out and save some lives. All right, take care, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you at the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.